Hashem Elohei Yisrael Mimini Michael Umismoli Gabriel Milfanai Biachorai Refael Al Roshi Al Roshi Shchi Nozel Didai Dadai Sing with me Didai Nadam Hai Dadai Hai Dadai Didai Nadam Didai Dadai Didai Nanai Didai Nanai Hey Nai Nanai Nai, 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 hey, nai, nai, hey, nai, 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 nai. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbos, sweet friends Gary and Alyssa. It's Shabbos, Don and Andrew and Renee and Devorah, dear Devorah. Good Shabbos, Luke. Shabbos, Michael Applebaum and Joni. Shabbat Shalom, Sarah, Miguel, and all of those who are making their way into the Zoom room. My dear friend Nancy. Shabbat Shalom to you. We hope you're singing with us. We can hear you, trust me. In the name of love, we welcome you. Shabbat Shalom. There are a lot of new things that are happening all around us. The Shabbos is the Shabbat Breshit, the first Shabbat for rabbis Maya Zinkau and Ben Perlstein, both of whom were ordained last Sunday. And so this Shabbat was a Shabbat that like any other Shabbat. Looking forward to it for so long. Higalena, it's so beautiful when old garments are replaced with the deep place, the true calling. Gale, 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 na. Sing everyone. Ufros. Nice. Ufros chavivi alai, o aleinu, over all of us. It's Sukkot, with each breath, peace, right here, descending, softening the face. Shlo Mecham Higale, gale, gale, nam na ufros, fros, fros, Chavivi alai. Chavivi is your love. Alai on all of us. Et sukat. Et sukan. Shelter of wholeness. Sukat. Oh, shlomecha, shlomech, your peace. Oh, we make room for that. Gale, 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 nam. Ufros, chavivi, alai, oh, alai. Etsuka Suka Shilomecha Shalom Shalach
Ladonai Naria Letzori Sheinu Nekadma Fana Betoda Bizmiro Narialo Eida Ida 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 Eida Ida Ida Eida Ida Ida Eida Ida Ida Eida Ida Ida Yel Gadol Adonai Melech Gadol Asher biyado mechakri haaretz v'tofim harim lo Asher lo hayam v'vasahu v'yavesh yalav yazaro v'nifrai Ki hu Eloheinu v'anachnu amarto v'tzon yado Hayomim b'kolo tishma'u el takshivu Asher nisuni v'adechem Mevani gam ra'u fali Arbaim Shana Hakut Gadol Va'omar Am Toei Levavim Vehem Lo yadu derachai Asher nishpati ve'api Im yiva'u namanuchati Hey lida ida ida 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 Hey da 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 Hey da 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 Hey da da da
Oh, bayay, hay la la la, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, ועשו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו והגויים גאונו גאונו אדוני ומולל מאוד, נורכו על כל אלוהים, כי כל אלוהי עמים אלילים, בהוויה שמיים עשה אור והגה יפה. Sing along, everyone. Hey, if you like Rabbi Zinka, you can bang on the table. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Oh, Edward, how come you're not playing on your bongo there, Edward? Come on. Hi, nine, nine. Hi, nine, nine, nine. Hey, did it, nine, nine, oh, yada, nine, nine, 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 yada, nine, nine. Yada nine 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 yada nine nine yada nine yada nine nine. Everyone, come on, clap together in the Zoom room. Try to find some kind of rhythm, so we're all clapping on the same beat. Diddy nine nine nine, diddy nine nine nine. Hi hi nine nine. Hey yeah hey nine 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 nine. Hi nine nine nine, hi nine nine, hi nine nine, hi nine nine. Bye, bye, hi nine nine, hi nine nine, hi nine nine, hi nine nine. If you're able to rise, please rise. Psalm 29. Feel your feet on the ground.
Listen for the ways that God's voice is in everything. Milvole David avul Adonai b'nei Elim, avul Adonai kavod va'oz, avul Adonai keot shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai be'adrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai me'adat, Kol Adonai shover arazim, v'yishaber Adonai et arzei Alvanon, v'yarkidem kemo egel Lebanon, v'Sirion kemo en reimim. Kol Adonai chotev lavodesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai cholel hayalot, vayecheso ye'aro uveichalo kulo merkavod. Adonai lama bo yashav yeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech tamo Shalom. Hi-ya-di-da-nai, yam-ba-dai. Ya-di-da-nai, ya-ya-dai. Hi-ya-di-da-mai, ya-di-da-dai. Hi-ya-da-mai, hi-ya, ya-nai, ya-na-na-nai, ya-nai-nai. Hi-ya-da-nai, na-na-na-nai. Hi-ya-dai, ya-na-na-na-nai. Hi-ya-nai, ya-ya-mai, ya-nai. Oh.
So as we bring to mind something at this moment that is a core memory of the holy for you, when that word sacred or holy comes to mind, you think X. Bring it with you. Yachin ge'eh le'am chafenei Zochrei, 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 Kedusha Secha, Yachin ge'eh le'am chafenei Zoch, all the memories of the holy Zochrei, Zochrei, Kedusha Secha Dirinai, Nanam Dininai, Nanam Dininai, all that I know. So I invite you to take a moment, everyone, just to, wherever you're seated, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, that would be cool. Sometimes I find closing my eyes helps me center more quickly and settle more quickly. So if you feel called to close your eyes or close the camera, or whatever it is that allows you to go inside for 2 minutes, take 2 uncynical, really nourishing minutes. Where taking time to check in with your body and your heart is simple. It's a gift that you give to yourself. It's an easy turn from outside to in, but not easily done. And if you have turned towards the inner space, just noticing sensations in the body and bringing a kind of tender awareness, spaciousness to whatever it is your experience at this moment. Hearing what you hear, feeling what you feel, just being real with what is. Just allowing yourself to be held by the floor or by the chair. Bringing particular attention, if you feel called, to what the sensation is of being held, being supported. me take one more minute in silence. And inviting you to bring awareness to your face and to the receiving of the face of Shabbat, noticing as we turn it towards the Chadodi.
Chadodi Likras Kala Penei Shabbos Nekabela Shamor v'zachor Bedibur echad Ishmianu El HaMeyuchad Adonai Echad U'Shmo Echad L'Shem Tiferet Ve'Litzila L'Chadodi Likras Kala Penei Shabbos Nekabela
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sov maseh b'machshava techila lemecha dodi Likras Kala
Likras Kala
Penei Shabbat Nekabela
Ay Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumitzai Mitoch Hafech Ravlach Shevet Be'emek Abacha Ve'hu Yachmol Alaychem Lalecha Dodi
Ay 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 ay
Likras Kala
ay ay ay
Penei Shabbos Nekabela
Hidnarim afarku milipshi bigdei tifartecha mi al yad ben yishai besalach mi korva el nafshi geala lecha dodi
Lecha Dodi
Likras Kala
Likras Kala
Penei Shabbat Nekabela
Tori Kiva Orech Kumi Uri Shir Daveri Kevod Adonai Halayich Nigla Lecha Dodi
Bam bam ba-da-da-dum
Likrat Kala
Ay 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 da-dum
Penei Shabbos Nekabela
Da 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 da, yum da 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 dum da dee dee, ya da da dum da 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 da, ya da da dum da 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 da.
Kabbalat, lo tivoshi velo tami, madish todati umatehemi, ach yekesu aniyei ami, veni nisayir atila, ayla lecha dodi, ayla likras kalarada, heranai benei Shabbos, ne amela yam. Osayich, verachakutone valayich, yastis alayich Elohayich, imsos chatan. Oh, ayna laylecha dodi, anna laylik naskala, heranay venei shanashama, ekamera, yammi usmo. Nagila, ayla layle kadodi, ayla layle kas. So rich. La la la, ay la la la, hey, ay la lecha dodi, ay la likras la la, oh ay benei Shabbat, benei Shabbos nikabel la la, ay la la. Omara lecha dodi, ayla layli kaskala. Hamsa, ayla layle, bam 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 bam. Please rise if you're able. Boi b'shalom, ateret ba'ala, we welcome Shabbat. Gam b'simcha u'b'tzohalam, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, Shabbos HaMalka. Hamara dodi, ayla likras kala, hova benei Shabbos nekabe lo. Open doors and broken hearts. Shabbat comes to welcome in the presence of the space to feel joy and also to feel the vulnerability of being human for those who are in need of healing. We pray for them and we say their names and see their names. הרופא לשברי לב ומחבש לעצבותם. Healer of the broken-hearted, binder of our wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who we are. Sing everyone. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amna elna refana la. Nisha Berach Avoteinu V'Imotenu, may the wind bless their ancestors, bless all of those who are in need of healing this Shabbos, in body, heart, mind, and spirit, and we say, Amen.
Amen.
Good Shabbos, friends. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Did I say good Shabbos? Good Shabbos.
Shabbos,
Shabbos.
Thank you very
Shabbos.
much. Goodness gracious. We got rabbis in the house, and I'm saying good Shabbos, and it's like, where are you? There you are. I'm so happy you're there. Oh, Gewalt. So good Shabbos, everybody who's here. We have a couple of really important announcements, nourishing announcements to support this community. Welcome our executive director, Jeffrey Kahn. Good to see you, Jeff. Good Shabbos. I love the green. Loving it. It's the green room.
Yeah, I think I look a little bit like Finding Nemo or something, but okay.
Okay.
Good Shabbos,
Finding
everybody.
Jeffrey.
Whoever had the chance to join the Stronger Together Romemu benefit on Tuesday, woo-hoo, wow. There were over 500 people involved in some way on some screen, and it was really incredible. I really want to just give one final thanks to that incredible benefit committee, the chairs, Stacy Levine, Pam Takiff, Paula Yormak, the committee, Marcy and Fred Imberman, Nancy Levin, Nancy McGraw, Elizabeth Savage, Harriet and Mark Saval, and Jay Netanya. So incredible. And of course, our honorees, Marsha Meisen and Karen Goldstick. It was really a great event. Maybe we'll post the rerun if you weren't able to see it. But the auction is still open, and there are a lot of incredible things to bid on. Fabulous art, gorgeous jewelry, experiences, vacations, teachings. Please visit the auction page and bid by the end of Monday.
Awesome, awesome. Slow down and explore life's deeper truths, everybody. June 14th through the 20th, there'll be an Awakening Strength on-site and in-person meditation retreat with the Romemu Yeshiva. The remarkable Romemu Yeshiva had over 100 some odd students this week alone in various classes, plus our wonderful immersive cohort. And so if you're looking for a little R&R, some rest and relaxation, and also reflection, really, June 14th up at Isabella Friedman. Also, everybody, this wonderful prophet named Arthur Waskow, Rabbi Arthur Waskow, will be with us on June 3rd to discuss his new book, Dancing in God's Earthquake, The Coming Transformation of Religion. I'm looking forward to being with him in that space. Awakening our social justice. What is food justice, right? That's really, it's at the core of so many pieces of our community and other communities. So we'll be exploring that in a food justice panel on June 13th. And don't forget to take our opening and reopening survey that was sent. So take a look for that. We need to hear from you.
Members, now is time to say, yes, I value my connection to Romemu, especially after a year like this, but of course, every year. And whether you live in New York or anywhere on the globe and you tune in to Romemu, you are part of this incredible collective that makes us all stronger together. Please, we have a membership level that fits any situation. Join or renew your membership today. And on the next slide, you can see that there is an incredible member portal. So when you become a member, you can get access to filling out forms, signing up for things quicker by being part of the member portal. You can see a membership directory if you met somebody in a class, if you'd like to invite someone over for Shabbat dinner. As a member, you can just log in, do a search. You can put a picture of yourself, other people you can find by their pictures. It's a great thing to do. And of course, it's obviously helps support everything we do. And when and if we're able to get back in person on site for services and other events, if there's limited capacity, then members are going to be the first ones that are going to get priority on getting back in person. So it's really a benefit for many reasons to sign up to be a member. And Rabbi Ingber, do you have any idea when might the first time that Romemu may be holding services again on site? Drum roll, please.
I mean, I'm ready to go any moment, but maybe next week.
Ah! It's happening. The doors are opening next week. It will be in a very limited capacity. There will have to be some sort of selection lottery. All the information will be forthcoming next week. But it's been 15 months since we've had a opportunity to welcome the community as a whole, or at least a piece of the community as a whole, back in, and we're here. An incredible moment.
It's a little bit moving. I have to stop for a second. Which means, by the way, Rabbi Zinko, it means that we will be able to fulfill the great dream of every rabbi, which is to be less than a block away from their sanctuary.
The shortest commute, but
period.
For a year, it's been the most complicated commute.
Exactly. It's just sometimes those shorter, longer ways, it's the longer, shorter way. But God willing, next week, we hope to be right around the corner from you, and look forward to davening in our space again. We know that Zoom is not the most effective tool for connection with others, and if you haven't noticed, looking at a little thumbnail is a little bit it's a little bit challenging. So thankfully, Zoom technology allows us, as you all know, to separate into breakout rooms, which is where we're going to go right now. And so we hope that this breakout room, as my friend Jade would say, is a breakthrough room. We'd like for you to introduce yourselves to someone in the breakthrough room, and just ponder this question, this prompt tonight, which is kind of something I've been wondering about a lot this week, which is what is the name, or what are the names of some people that have had a major influence on your life? It's just like the first thing that comes to mind. Obviously, many of us have had many different influences, but just the first person who comes to mind when that question is asked, share what they conferred upon you, what they gave to you, and also what their name was. That would be wonderful. We're going to send you into some breakthrough rooms, say hello to one another. This is an invitation to share. No one has to. And so we'll see you in about 5 minutes when we come back for the Baruch Hu. Beautiful people. I invite you to use the chat room to share with us a name, a quality, a something that came up. Thank you. We're going to weave these people into our Baruch tonight. Jane Pomeroy and Colette and Reb Zalman. Ronnie Sharfman. Beautiful. Robin Williams. Dan and Manette Lieblich. Karen Freed and Eileen Sameth. Beautiful. Love you, Luke. Farrell Sims. Dr. Renee Hill and Alyssa Marco. Beautiful. Muktananda. Maimonides and Rabbi Simcha Weintraub. Dina Metzger. Malay Grabo. Jim Lebo. Rabbi Jim Lebo and Marsha. Thich Nhat Hanh, Thay, and Gurdjieff through Bob Silber. Daniel Gogol. Neely Weissman. Deborah's mother, Jacqueline, Ruth Nussbaum. Beautiful. Later, all of these wonderful teachers, influencers, all of those who made an impact on us. So for those who are here for the first time, I hope that this community also is making its way to you. The beauty of this community, absolutely vibrant and shining with its luster, notwithstanding the Zoomiverse, reaches through the screens and touches the heart. And so if you're here for the first time, we welcome you as the influencers and those who are teachers continue to populate the chat area. If anyone who's here for the first time would like to just write their name into this beautiful cascade of chatting, we'd love to say hello as we prepare for the Baruch. Edward and Aura, are you here for the first time? I saw you, Edward, with your bongo. Welcome with your bongo. You can see Sensei Daiken with his hand drum. We have lots of drums going on, so thank you for being here. Anyone else? Looking through. I know the faces. All right, sweet people. We hand over Ma'ariv tonight to our teachers, Maranan V'Rabbanan, Rabbi Pearlstein and Rabbi Zinko. Please rise.
Baruch et Adonai ha-mevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Ay, 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 ay.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai. Ay, ay, ay. Ya, da, 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 da.
Barucha Ad Shechina Eloheinu Ruach HaOlam Asher Bivara Marivaravim Chochma V'Tach Sherim. Creating day and night, unrolling light from the face of the darkness. Elachaya vekayemet tamid timloch aleinu leolam vaed. Nayai Bruchat Shechina Adadai dai dai Yadadam dai 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 Ma'ariva Aravim. Avat Olam. Connecting to a love that is eternal, that's with us always now, checking in with it. Can you feel it? Avat Olam. Beit Yisrael Amcha, Torah mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim. Toratecha mitzvotecha. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvehem negei yomam v'alayla v'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu didai dai 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 leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Prepare for Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך.
With all your might.
והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך.
Come on your heart.
ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. והיה יום לבן אדוני בכל נתתי זה בסדך
Take your time on this land. Settle in for service. To serve the one.
ושמתם את דברי אלה ללבכם מעל נפשכם.
Teach them. See if you can teach them one more generation.
וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניכם על האדמה.
Try it for many days, not just one.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונענו על ציצית הכנף בציון תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם. ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם מאחורי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. I am your God, the very same God that brought your ancestors from slavery to liberation when they stood on the banks of the sea.
The lips of the sea, ready to sing.
Mi chamocha,
Mi chamocha,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Ba'elim Adonai,
Mi kamocha,
Mi kamocha,
Nedar Bakodesh,
Nedar Bakodesh,
Nora,
Nora,
Tehilo,
Tehilo,
Oseh,
Oseh,
Felem,
Feleh,
Malchusecha,
Malechusecha,
Ra'u Vanecha,
Ra'u Vanecha,
Bokei Ayam,
Abokei Ayam,
Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam,
Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam,
Zeli,
Zeli,
Anu ve'ameru,
Anu ve'ameru,
Adonai lo,
Adonai Imloch,
Le'olam.
olam vaed.
ונאמר, כי ידע אדוני את יעקב, קולו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל.
Amen. Ashivenu, lay us down, Adonai Leinu, shalom, for peace to peace, vehamidenu, and stand us up, Malkeinu lechaim. And when we stand, let us stand under your shelter of peace. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu b'etzah tova. Give us this good advice, this tree of life, milfanecha, so we can be shaded under and before you. V'hoshienu l'man shemecha. Not be in danger and not be afraid and have nothing to fear. Only you, knowing you're here to guard and to save and to comfort and to heal and to love. Shmor tzitenu v'oinu l'chaim l'shalom yataviad olam, and always in this world, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel V'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Please rise if you are able. Vishamru. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael es ha-Shabbat la'asos es ha-Shabbat לדורוסם בריסולם ביני ובין בני ישראל עושי לכולם אישי ישס ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים הארץ וביום השביעי שבס וינש. חצי קדיש.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. יום דברך ירתי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל וגלה בזמן קריב וימרו אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם הלל מעלמיה יתברך וישתבח יספר וישמע ויתנשא ויסדר ויסלל ויסלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמה וימרו and let us say Amen.
Standing Amidah or private reflection time, everyone. We take 2 to 3 minutes to go on book or off book, but just to be in the presence of the infinite as you understand it, as we receive Shabbat together. אתה הוא ראשון, אתה הוא אחרון, ומבלעדיך What a week here at Romemu. We began our third year of the Romemu Yeshiva this week, the world's only fully egalitarian program for text study that mixes together meditation, mysticism, and mindfulness. That's what we did on Monday. And on Tuesday, we held our first and hopefully our last virtual or digital benefit, an evening to raise much needed funds for the Romemu operating budget, as well as an opportunity to raise praise for two of our remarkable communal leaders, Marsha Meislin and Karen Goldstick. Between these two events, together, the opening of a center in which next generation leaders are able to learn Torah, moving from spiritual consumers to participants in the endless unpacking of our tradition and its relevance. Between that event and the recognition of communal leaders who work tirelessly of their own time and talent and passion, we have a link to something remarkable that takes place in our weekly wisdom, Parshat Bahalotcha, tomorrow morning's Torah reading. In Parshat Bahalotcha, we have a remarkable story that, if you aren't familiar with it, it's kind of a wacky story. So much of what happens in the book of Numbers, so much of the book of Numbers is dedicated to a kind of disgruntled liminal space in which the Israelite nation finds itself as it leaves the prison of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, on its way to the paradise of the promised land. And somewhere stuck here in the middle of you, the kind of Israelites are full of experiences and also complaints. And so too, in tomorrow morning's reading, they'll complain about food. They'll start talking about how it was so great for them in the land of Egypt and how they wish that they had, of all things, after being given manna from heaven and being sick of it, they wished for, of all things, meat. They wanted meat. Not unlike the story in My Big Fat Greek Wedding where she says, you don't want meat? You don't eat no meat? I'll give you the lamb. No, they want meat. They want quail. So God gives them quail. And then what ensues is this wonderful story, difficult to understand, where Moshe complains and says, I can't handle feeding all these people on my own. Another moment in Moshe's leadership. And God says, well, gather together a group of 70 elders, and I'll give them the spirit that will allow them to be leaders with you. And so this moment happens, and Vayetze Moshe vayidaber la'am, verse 24, in tomorrow morning's chapter 9, Moshe goes out to speak to the people, and he gathers the 70 people together, the 70 leaders, the elders, Vaya'amod otam svot ha'ohel, and he stands them around the tent. Vayered Adonai ba'anan, and God comes down in a cloud. Vayidaber elav, vayatzel min haruach asher alav, and God speaks to Moshe and takes from his spirit, he draws from the spirit of Moshe. Vayitena al shivim isha zekenim, and he gives it to these 70 elders. Vayitnaba'u velo yasafu, this great term, and they begin to prophesize. Vayitnaba'u, from the word navi, which means to be a prophet. They begin to prophesize velo yasafu, and they can't stop prophesying. It's like speaking in tongues. They're ecstatic. There's this remarkable moment. Vayish'aru shnei anashim b'machaneh, but there are two elders who remain in the camp. One is named Eldad, and the second one is named Medad. Vatanach aleim haruach vehima baktuvim v'lo yatzu ha'oela vayitnab'u b'machaneh. and they prophesize more than the others, it would seem. They're full of the spirit. And somehow this threatens the order. Vayoratz hanar vayaged Moshe. Some lad goes to tell Moses. Vayomar. He says to him, Eldad uMedad mitabim b'machaneh. There's this Eldad and Medad, and they're prophesizing in the camp. So at this moment in the text, we're wondering what's about to happen, right? This lad comes to tell Moshe, and Moshe doesn't even say a word. Joshua jumps in. Joshua, who's of course the second to Moshe, it's the one who, Moshe's right-hand person. And Joshua jumps in and says, Vaya'an Yoshua ben Nun misharet Moshe mibuchurav vayomar Adoni Moshe klaim. He says, Joshua says to Moshe, my Lord Moses, you should destroy them. Destroy them. Wipe them out. Vayomer lo Moshe hamikaneat ali. And Moshe says to Joshua, are you jealous on my behalf? Amikane atali. Are you jealous for me, for my benefit? Umi yiten la'am Adonai nevi'im. Ki yiten Adonai rucho lehem. He says, mi yiten. Who would it be? Would that God would make all of the people prophets. Would that all of God's people would have that spirit rest upon them. And so this remarkable scene, which frankly is directly in contrast with a later scene in the book of Numbers, where a cousin of Moshe, whose name is Korach, gets up in the camp and seems to be challenging the hierarchy of Moshe's prophecy, seems to be saying, hey, what about us? This Korach rebellion that takes place later in the Torah, in the book of Numbers, seems to run counter to this moment where Moshe seems to be so generously and beneficently saying, hey, Joshua, enough with the zealousness. Would that everyone were a prophet. In the story of Korach and the rebellion of Korach, there is no such Mosaic statement. Moshe doesn't come along and say, would that everyone were like Korach. Would that everyone were like the complaint of Korach, who said, why am I not the leader of the people? And what's the difference between Korach, that story of rebellion, and this story of Eldad and Medad? And what is it that Moshe is really telling Joshua when he says to him, are you jealous for me? Would that everyone were a prophet. I was reminded when I was thinking about this week of the great late Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory, who on Parashat Korach, on the Parsha of Korach in 5773, some 8 years ago, wrote these words. There are two forms or dimensions of leadership, he wrote. One is power, and the other, he wrote, is influence. Often we confuse the two. After all, those who have power often have influence, and those who have influence have a certain kind of power. But in fact, he writes, the two are quite different, even opposites. He says we can do a thought experiment, very simple. Imagine you have total power and then you decide to share it with 9 others. You now have 1/10 of the power with which you began. But imagine, he says, by contrast, that you have a certain measure of influence and now you share it with 9 others. How much do you have left? Not less, in fact, more. He writes, influence works by multiplication, where power operates by division. With power, the more we share, the less we have, and with influence, the more we share, the more we have. He says that Moshe embodied the 2 different roles that the Torah allocates for both of these centers, the center of power and the center of influence. Classically, the power was held by the king, and the prophet or the Navi was the one who influenced. The prophet was the one who spoke truth to power, the one who had no power but had great influence. And the king, who fought wars, who allocated resources and taxed the people, the king had great power. And in Moshe's case, he writes, Moshe had both. Moshe was both a prophet, a Navi, and also, in so many ways, in the pre-monarchical Israelite culture, he was also the king. He fought their wars. In the story of Korach, Korach seeks to replace Moshe as king, he writes. But in the story of Eldad and Medad, in this week's Torah portion, Eldad and Medad represent the multiplication and impact of influence. In this, Moshe says, would that everyone were to realize that they were an influencer, that they had impact, that they could change the world, that they too could prophesize just like me. Moshe experiences his prophetic influence as a blessing. Would that everyone were blessed with that kind of awareness, Moshe says. When Romemu began at Yeshiva, our desire was to both involve next generation leaders with both power and authority and impact, to be able to make a claim on the tradition and to recognize that they could make a difference, to give them access and resources to texts that are normally hidden away, texts and practices that are deeply embodied, sources of deep personal and spiritual power, so that they too might become those who say, would that everyone were a Navi, would that everyone would realize that they have an impact and an influence. And when we lifted up Marsha and Karen this week, we were recognizing two people who already are influencing on the ground the entirety of our warp and woof of this community. They aren't the quote unquote rabbis or clergy team. They're not running the board, but they're influencing their friends and those who walk through the doors, lifting them up and showing the power of multiplication, the power of increased influence, increased touch, and most importantly, increased impact. This entire week, I've been thinking about power and influence, because in many ways, in our generation, the two are colliding, merging in ways that we perhaps had never seen before. It's possible for someone to be an influencer now with millions and millions and millions of followers to make a statement that impacts the lives of millions of people that they have never met and not hold any office or any authority. It's possible to be someone who makes a huge difference around the globe with the kinds of things that we say, the kinds of information or disinformation that we share, the kinds of frames and memes that we employ. With this latest uptick of anti-Semitism that has gripped our country and the globe, we're seeing very deeply the impact that influencers have on the ground for bad. And we also know the power that people have for good. And the Torah reminds us, the Shabbos, our communal leaders remind us, our next generation rabbis remind us that there is great holy work to be done to make a positive impact and influence those around us. It doesn't have to be 1 million people. It could just be one. It could just be wherever you are. Halavai, Moshe says that all of us realize that we too can be influencers. So this blessing to both of you, Rabbi Zinko and Rabbi Perlstein. This blessing to you, Marsha Meislin, and to Karen Goldstick, and to this entire beautiful community. What you do matters. What you say matters. How you comport yourself matters. The impact you will make in the world is itself the greatest power that you could possibly own. And blessings to all of us to hear Moshe's words. Would that all of us were to see how much we can be. Please rise if you are able. Olam chesed yibaneh, lai lai lai. We will build this world with love. Lie, 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 lie. Oh, and if we build this world from love, lie, 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 lie. God, you will build this world with us through love. Gotta lie, 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 lie. Olam chesed baneh. Lie, 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 lie. Olam chesed baneh. Lie, 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 lie. Oh, olam chesed baneh. Ya lie, 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 lie. We will build this world from love, 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 love. Olam chesed yibaneh. Lie, 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 lie. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalla lie, 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 lie. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu. And on that day, one day, Adonai Echadu Shemo, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushema Echad. Into the sacred container of impact and influence, those who have loved us and whom we have loved who are not with us. We remember these names tonight. Those who are on the screen in front of you, we remember Everett Duchen, Bati Ariel Bat Avraham, Elizabeth Deegan, Asaf Yefet, and those who were killed in the cable car tragedy in Italy. Can we go back to the Shiva? The Shiva didn't show up? Oh, there we go, okay. Kathy, Maddie, Eric and Hamilton Dominguez, Edwin Landrau, Alex Enciso Navarro, Yeta Elinov. Thank you. Evelyn Goodman, we remember you. Arthur Siegel, Jason Andrew Brodsky, Dr. Norman Crane, Solomon Marenberg, Cecilia Romo, Stuart Fred Feit, David Wenegrat, Kimberly Hall, David Silverstein, Harriet Bloom, Shirley Siegel, Benjamin Wolf Tolushkin, Beth Baldridge, and Dvar Stoll, we remember Lee Brox, Jean Farman Shore, Ellsworth Levine, Erwin Bardesh, Mr. Elsie Pops Floyd, Lynn Blacker, Shirley Gatzik, Grace Tanin Denmark, Rabbi Raphael Goldstein, Hamagid Yitzchak Buxbaum, Brady Rifkin, Lorette Nierenberg, Barry Koski, and Betty Levin, Timur Borstein. We remember Leslie Robert Axelrod, Charlotte Figman, Stuart Sava, Lily Zemet, Julia Eisenberg, Shirley Marlowe, Gretchen Drury, Michael Fricano Jr., Nancy Traeger, Rabbi Dr. Henry Dicker, Robert Gerald Cohen, Angela Lamb Margolis, Tav Sparks, Annie Esty. We remember Maurice Nanyan, Hank Wesselman, Eric Press, Iona Miller, Just Lundberg, Dr. Randy Baker, Irene Weissmiller, Thelma Kirsch. We remember Myrna Feldman, Sonia Weinstein, Molly Grabo, Robert Stephen Novikov, Alice Marks Koshar. We remember Rabbi David Cooper, Reverend Robert Grates, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Alav Shalom, Mark Eben Beitman, Anne Marie Zangara, Zati Munajat, Ido Shefi, Cliff Bales, Elaine Sachs, Chaim Ben Lazar, and on his birthday we remember Leo Litbach. We remember Ted Tennant, Sybil Katz, Rose Javer, Javier Friedman, the first yahrzeit of Marlena Siegman of David, Julian Rostein, and those who are following us on YouTube and Facebook. We remember loved ones who are being lifted up at this moment. And so if it is your custom to stand for the Mourner's Kaddish, please rise. If you are supporting those who are saying the Mourner's Kaddish, please rise as well. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found on the screen in front of you. Yiskadal v'yiskadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrachidu say. You can unmute yourselves, rabbis, so we can say it together. Be'alma divrachidu say. Be'amlich machu say. V'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayid echol beis Yisrael. V'agala u'izman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehi Shmei
Shmei
Rabbah.
Rabba,
V'rach
V'rach
olam
Maya.
olam olam.
Omei Omaya.
Yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yispa'ar v'yisroma v'yisnasei. V'yisadar v'yisalev v'yisalav Shmei dekut shabrichu. Le'ila min kol birchasa v'shira satush b'chasa v'nechem asa da'miram be'oma v'imeru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shmaya. Chaim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. And let us say Amen.
Amen.
May the memories be a blessing. Yeh Zichron Baruch. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos, dear friends.
Shabbos.
Good
Good
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
So we are so blessed to have had Rabbi Ben Pearlstein and Rabbi Maya Zinko as our JSI Rabbinic Fellows for this year through an unforgettable year. And to have been with you as you cross the finish line as well, which is, of course, a new beginning for you. And to be with you, too, hopefully throughout the month of June as we return to our sanctuary, at least for you, Maya. And I don't know about you, Ben, if you're going to come down from Massachusetts. But either way, it's important for us to say that it's a good example. Rabbi Pearlstein will still be in the Zoom room, and so no one here will be left behind. No Zoom left behind. When we go back to the sanctuary, we promise that those of you who have been joining us and been supported by and have supported the Rumble community will not be left in the return. Right? We're all going to still be in the Zoom room together in some way, shape, or form, and we're going to find the best shape and form as well as we head into these uncharted territories together. Into our couple blessing this Shabbos. Of course, Rabbi Pearlstein and Rabbi Zinko also into this couple blessing all of this remarkable team. And as you see these team members, all 119 cameras, as you see these team members, I want you really to take a look at them. They are the most stellar, remarkable, selfless, perseverant staff that we've ever had at Romemu. They are incredible human beings. And in particular tonight, Evie, thank you so much, Evie and Rebecca Feldman. These people are working around the clock tirelessly with the benefit and then with programming and then with Shabbat services and this and that. And so we put them as well into our cup of blessing. Tomorrow morning's open book will be at 9 o'clock with Rabbi Diane Kohler-Esses, and then services at 10 o'clock. Everyone, we look forward to seeing you there. Please lift up a cup of blessing. If you're Richard Gedoldig, you need a smile, because without a smile, Richard, you're not in Shabbos. Without a smile, Richard, no Shabbos for you. Okay? No, there you go. And you got your mug? All right. And Joni's got her mug?
Can I put one more thing into the cup of blessing, Rabbi David?
Sure, of course.
Today's my Safta Bonnie's 92nd birthday. So just want to bless her that she lives till 120, Safta Bonnie in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Amen.
Wow, we saw Safta Bunny at, that sounded funny, Safta Bunny. It's Safta Bonnie. So here's to you, Safta Bonnie. We're going to make Kaddish together. Please help me out at different parts, okay, guys? Yom HaShishi Vayichulu HaShamayim V'Haaretz V'chol Tzivam
ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה.
ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו. כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Sari Chaverai
לחיים לחיים.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
אמן.
Ben, go ahead.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצה בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית.
כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו ובחרת, והותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, ושבס קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלת לנו.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbos.
Amen.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Shabbos, good Shabbos. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. Good Shabbos everyone, good Shabbos Gary, good Shabbos Ellen, good Shabbos Margot, good Shabbos Judith Ed. Did-a-dai-dai-dai-dai. 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 הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. Shabbos, Jack and Laura. Hey, hey. Hey! Did-a-dai-dai-dai. Did-a-dai-dai-dai-dai. Did-a-dai-dai-dai. Shabbos Lars, Shabbos Jonathan, Shabbos Alyssa, Shabbos Jeremy and Lauren, Shabbos Arnold, Shabbos Stephen, Shabbos Eden, Sydney Foster, Lisa and Dan, Shabbos with God me. Mishbucha, ho, 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 ho. Shalom, Bimnoma, Shabbos, Lori and Stuart. Shabbos, Ve'ako Yisrael, Ve'ako Yoshnei Tevel. In the green room, Jeffrey Kahn. Come on, Jeffrey. Ha, ha, ha. Hey! Da-da-da-da-da. Didn't I? Emet, Ahava, Emily and Bob, good Shabbos, Rena, Shabbos Rich. Shabbos Mark, Shabbos Renee and Adam. Deborah, Shabbos Deborah. Shabbos Deborah's and Harvey and Adel and Estelle. Shabbos Susan and Tamala somewhere. Nancy. Shabbos Nancy. Haley and Nancy. Shabbos Andrea. Shabbos friends. Shabbos everybody. Shabbat Shalom.